Hi, welcome to my section. My name is Julian. I'm actually heads up the ASEAN emerging market team in Amazon Web Services. So today I would like to go through different things provided by Amazon Web Services for you to build up a smart, resilient city with the cloud technology. Here is the agenda. I would like to cover the smart and inclusive cities. What is the definition of these smart cities from Amazon Web Services? I would also like to talk about cloud-to-edge innovation. A lot of people already using the cloud technology to develop the smart city solution. But at the same time, they would also like to extend their cloud infrastructure to the edge so that they can come up more innovative use cases to serve different purposes. And then after I talk about the technology, I will also talk about different use cases that the customer already deployed in the regions. Finally, if you have a really good technology without a good support from the people, your project may not be successful. So it is very important for you to focus on the workforce development earlier so that you have a group of technical specialists to support all these kind of smart city developments. So what is the definition of smart cities? I believe different people would have different definition. For us, our definition is that the most important thing in the scenario is about the data. It's all about the data. So basically, you will have a lot of different data being collected from various sources. So that can be some internal databases, that can be the sensor or devices, that can be open data, that can be citizen data, or external data feeds. And then how you are able to turn all these data to become something meaningful, which is what we call the insight. And then you can make use of this insight to make decisions. That is the most important for a smart city use cases. And this kind of smart city services is actually already deployed and impact a lot of different verticals. That can be the transportation. People talk about the smart transport. That can be the public safety. You may want to collect the data and then determine whether something happened in some secure places. Maybe you are talking about the healthcare. People talk about putting the sensor on the patients, and then you are able to do the remote monitoring. People also focus on the utilities and environment and doing the environment protections. Economic development and housing is another key area that the public sector customer looking for these days. You may have a lot of housing, public housing, private housing, and then you want to put the sensor into different building to turn that to become a smart building. Finally, it's more about culture and community. Government wanted to build a really harmonic communities. Then you may also make use of the smart solutions to serve this kind of purposes. But with that, what kind of technology is actually important to drive this kind of smart city transformations? First of all, for sure, a lot of people would think of the Internet of Things and then associate with an eco side to a smart city solution. Because a lot of people would like to collect the data and then using the Internet of Things to do so. But in our definition, it is not the only things for the smart city solution. I will give you more example in the later stage. What is the meaning of this? Deep learning, AI or machine learning. So as I mentioned, people make use of the data and then using different technology to turn that to become something useful. And AI machine learning is actually one of the key engine people would like to do so. You may use the AI machine learning engine to learn some of the usual patterns, and then based on the engine to find out something happen unusual. Data lakes. When we talk about the data, the collection of data, you need to have a really good storage engine. And then people always make use of the data lake to do so. Let's say you may need to store various format of the data, or you need to store huge amount of data. These are all the capability that can be provided by the data lake solutions. Finally, augmented reality. So the smart city solution always think of the physical world as well as the virtual world. How you are able to bridge two worlds together to come up with something very interesting scenario or use cases to the citizens. The augmented reality technology is actually play a key role here. In order to support different type of smart city solution, you need a reliable cloud infrastructure so that you are able to have high availability, high scalability, and also high security to protect your application. So Amazon Web Services provide a region with multiple availability zones, that is multiple data center to support your application. Once you set up the infrastructure on Amazon Web Services, you can start to also set up the National Cyber Watch Center to ensure you also protect the application level of security. And then after that, you can start to deploy different scenario that can be serving the public user. They can going through the 3G, 4G, 5G, or Wi-Fi to connect to the internet, serving the application. Or a lot of government, they will focus on some use case scenario without the human, which is building up the sensor network. Basically, what they do is actually they put up the sensor in different parts of the cities and then form a network. And the government can also put up a lot of different edge network going through their local presence or going through the telco, so that at the edge level, you are also already able to manipulate the data and then send back to the cloud infrastructure. At the same time, this kind of government sensor network may not necessarily just supporting some unclassified data. Some of the government, when they build up this kind of smart city solution, they are also looking for serving some confidential data and application. And then whether you are able to set up a secure network is actually very, very important. So the way they do that is actually put up the edge location in a secure government cloud network or secure telco point of presence, and then collect the data, add additional security such as encryption before sending back to the cloud. So with all these high-level use cases, I would like to further elaborate what is the meaning from the cloud to the edge. So for the smart city solution or smart city platform, as I mentioned, basically you need to collect the data. And the data can come from your existing sources or coming from the real-time data. And at the end, what you want to achieve is actually different outcomes, including the inspiration and insights, including the reporting, including the faster decision-making, including the data-driven decision, as well as prescriptive actions. And on Amazon Web Services, we actually provide different engines to bridge two layers of things together. So we allow you to ingest your data, either going through a batch or going through real-time streaming of data. And then we process the data in the middle. Before we hand over to the outcomes, we will using different engines to turn the data to become your insight, such as the AI machine learning engine or some analytics and visualization tools. Then with that, people with this kind of engine may be deployed on the cloud or deployed to the edge. So you can see that from the cloud to the edge, you will have different IoT devices that can be from the truck, from the 5G, or from the industry devices. They may running in a very rugged environments, and then you are able to put up different compute services to the edge environment provided by Amazon Web Services, or leverage our extension of Amazon Web Services to the telco space, or even we can extend our Amazon Web Services infrastructure into your on-premises data center as the edge environment before sending the data to the cloud for further processing. So this is a really typical infrastructure setup for our customer. So AWS alone cannot fulfill all the necessary requirements without involving our partner. A lot of our partner, either that is the ISV or the system integrator, actually provide additional added value services to our customer, such as they are able to provide some edge computing capability or connectivity options, or even some vertical solution, so that you are able to deploy your smart city solution in short period of time. Telco, again, they are one of the very important of our partner that are able to provide the edge capability. So Amazon Web Services already work with different telco in the world so that our infrastructure can be extended to their data center. And they can leverage their capability and key strength, which is providing the mobile networks, lease line, and Wi-Fi hotspot, so that your application can be run more closely to your end user to support more low latency application access. I have talked a lot about different technology, different partnership, and different industry trend, how to develop the smart city solution. Let me give you a few examples, the real life use cases from our customer. Then you will be able to understand what is the technical value and also the importance using the cloud infrastructure to support your applications. Smart parking solution. So a lot of people wanted to develop the smart parking solution, leveraging the smart video analytics. AWS together with our partner actually have all this capability. We are able, for example, we are able to recognize the car plate so that if the car owner reserve the parking space up front, and when they enter the parking space, we are able to know that whether the owner already have a reserved parking space. Smart CCTV or lampposts. I'm sure you have a lot of lampposts on the road. And you know what? A lot of governments already enable all these lampposts to become the smart lampposts by adding different sensors or switches to collect the data and also make the prompt decision. So let me give you a few examples. You may be able to collect the real-time traffic data through the lamppost to determine whether a particular area already have the congestion, and then redirect the people or the traffic to another area. Or you are able to detect that whether there is a particular accident happening in one area using the video analytics technology, and then based on that to notify corresponding agency to make the necessary response in short period of time. So all these smart lamppost data can be further developed into the smart traffic system to do the traffic and road monitoring. Another use cases is more about the smart bureaucracy, doing the document analysis. If you have the financial regulator agencies, you may want to regulate the industry by examining a lot of different documents provided by the institutes. And then you can imagine these type of data can be huge. And these data keep coming in day to day. So one of the best approach is actually leverage the AI machine learning to pre-filter all the data. So our AI machine learning engine are able to learn the usual patterns for all the documents. And then we are able to spot out some unusual documents which may violate the regulations. And once we flag that out, we are able to hand over to human for further analysis or investigation. And you can imagine, just leverage this kind of technology, how much human resources you are able to save. And all these human resources can further doing other useful things, high value things for the organizations. Flood monitoring is another area people trying to deploy in ASEAN. So you know that a lot of different countries is actually suffer with the flood situation. So some of the customers actually leverage Amazon Web Services capability to develop the flood monitoring, so that at least to notify the people earlier and minimize the damage to people's life and to the economies. So one of the example I can share with you is actually the situation in Indonesia, Jakarta. There's a project called Peta Bencana, which is a solution running on Amazon Web Services to detect the flooding situation and notify the people proactively. Another area that the government keep doing these days is actually doing the social media sentiment analysis. You know, a lot of social media is very popular, and you are able to collect the data and then make use of the AI machine learning engine to determine the sentiment in real time, so that the government can make the necessary response for that. Let's say, for example, there are some particular chaos happening in one particular area. The government can, based on the sentiment analysis, to see whether to deploy a lot of different social workers to comfort the people. So this is a very useful services in a lot of different situations. Education is another area that is important. So personalized learning is actually out-of-the-box features for a lot of different learning management systems. And the students are able to, based on their capabilities, to have different learning paths, so that everyone can have the chance to get the best learning outcome. I don't have much time today, so that's why I would rather to summarize all the case studies in the region to you. If you are interested, you are able to contact us so that you can understand a bit more about any of these stories in the region. So finally, I would like to share with you about the workforce development and the cloud skilling. Again, we have a really good technology. A lot of people already using that. But a lot of customers also gone through a very tough process in the beginning because they misunderstood the importance of the people with the necessary cloud skill. So I would like to share with you a few programs that we offer to the customer these days, especially for the public sector customer, such a way that you are able to leverage these programs to enhance the skill set for the people, for the student, and also for the future workforce. So we have the Educate program and also the Academy program provided to the Education Institute to train the student about the cloud skill set. We also have the SSTAR program to promote to provide the promotion credit and also some technical support to different education startup business. And we also have the training and certification, such a way that you can provide this training and certification program to your staff to learn and train and certify on Amazon Web Services. So we also provide the open data program so that the government can run on Amazon Web Services and storing huge amount of data. So these are all the programs we provide to the customer. If you are interested, feel free to contact us and we are able to provide you the further details on any of these programs. So that's all of the things I would like to share with you today. If you are interested, please using this QR code and then go to our public website, and then you are able to contact us for further details. Thank you very much.